this is an ongoing situation from 2014 after the death of my mother. But I was diagnosed with chronic anxiety from 2006, and I was always on treatment before I came to this country. So leading up to whatever is happening now, coming up 10 years, after the death of my mother, allegations were made against me, and this led to me being sent on medical suspension. Before I was sent on medical suspension, I'd actually contacted my employers to say, in a letter, to explain the full context of what was happening to me. And I actually remember writing in that letter that I'm depressed and slowly dying of torture. They didn't do anything to help me. Then afterward, they suspended me, sent me on medical suspension. And I saw the doctor, Dr. Laura Crawford, who advised me to seek counseling to find out why I react the way I do to certain situations. I never got the support because I was still going to work after I'd seen Dr. Crawford. And then it reached the stage where I had the second nervous breakdown in my life. And then that's when I got the 12 counseling sessions at the Maudsley. And then after that, I did 2 years of mental health research with King's College. Any course that is going, I always try to be on it. I write extensively about any situation from cradle to grave, but I'm not getting the support that I need to heal. And my husband is 100 years old now, and he's traumatized as well because of what's been happening to us. And it's just, as soon as I pick myself up, I'm back again to square one. And I'm raised Christian, and to think that because I was in a HCT group impact report where my picture was on one side, and they had a statistic of 1 in 5 of all suicides associated with unemployment. It is the barrister, a black barrister, who took my money, who groomed someone, and they sent the police here the first time to section me under a malicious report. And I've not had any peace ever since. Now they're saying I was sectioned under the Mental Health Act and the defamation, because I asked other counsel for a subject access request. It was 300 and odd pages of all these terrible things. When I look at it, that it really pushed me over as well. And now my housing association has, after another malicious report, they impose injunction. I cannot say anything or I'll be in prison, and they're seeking to evict me from the home I got in 2000 as a result of domestic violence. I just can't take any more of all that's happening to me. You know, if I was functioning, it wouldn't be a problem. I've developed an eating disorder as a result of all that's happening. Sometimes I don't wash, I don't cook, I don't sleep, I don't eat, I don't do nothing. And this, as I said, my husband is traumatized. I just need some help for both of us. I don't want to go to the extent where I have to end my life to get released from this pain. I can't take no more. The first happened after the death of my brother. He had cancer. That was 2008. So it's the same sort of allegations and that they use in the workplaces to really break me down. So the first time when the allegations were made, because I know I had chronic anxiety, but that had nothing to do with it. But when the allegation was made, I was like, I didn't know what was happening, and because one of my brother had committed a criminal act and died in prison, I don't usually talk about that. I've kept it withheld. So I was thinking, is it something in my DNA? Because I had an auntie who was mad. So I self-referred. And although I got the support from 2 medical a male and a female. They just continued. And once you raise concerns in workplaces, this is how it end up. Yeah, so this is the second time now. I had the second nervous breakdown after the death of my mother. And then recently they tried a case behind my back whilst one of my brother was dying of cancer and another one blood vessel burst in his head. So I had the first high blood pressure on the 27th of July. And then by the 1st of August, they had a case behind my back. I didn't know anything about it and everything and classed me as a violent criminal, a violent nuisance. On top of they gave me criminal record, needing emotional regulation treatment just to cover up the abuse rings that was in the workplace that I didn't even know they were abuse rings. Because I done a Voice of a Child research only to find out that the person who called me on the 27th of September 2021 was responsible also for men in child care and a Voice of a Child. So I'm being pushed to become the statistic of 1 in 5 of all suicides are associated with unemployment. I haven't become that yet, but my husband and I are 600,000 older people in the UK say they leave their home once a week or less. As I said, if I was functioning, I could go about, go shopping, cook, and do the things that must be done for my husband. It wouldn't bother me, but I'm just like, I'm in a barrel, I'm in a cage, I'm in a prison, I'm just sat here.
All right, man. Cheer up yourself.
Sorry? Well, the first time it was at my workplace. I used to work at King's College Hospital NHS Foundation Trust. And then it was just things that people were saying. Yeah. That probably I was loud, I was dismissive of authority. Those are the things. And some of the times when things are happening, it's me trying to cover because sometimes I get the shakes where I'm actually shaking. Parkinson's is in my DNA, so my father and my uncle had it. And sometimes, like, whenever I get emotional, you can hear it in my voice. It's either the words not coming out or I'm trying to get it out and they said I'm shouting. Those are the sort of things that was used. And then it's literally the same thing again after the death of my mother. So each time I have a bereavement, something will crop up to where they accuse me of being this or that, where I'm not actually setting out to be whatever they are accusing me of. So they are actually judging me. And with my level of education and support that I give to children, you know, I was a SENCO, EYFS coordinator. It is all there, but they use it against me. Whatever it is, they use against me. Yes. And then I had to represent myself at the employment tribunal twice. And they said I made up disabilities. So don't care what I do, they always use it against me. And then they made other allegations again. Or they sent police here. I was beaten right in here. And in the MOPAP report, it said I was tensing up. So that was reason for them to handcuff me. And at the same time, I'm in handcuff and I'm wrestling with one officer. And this is the trigger. They wrote in that I was grabbing the taser handle of another officer whilst I'm in handcuff, whilst I'm wrestling with another officer and everything. So you see the pattern they're going the road with. If anything had happened to me, it would be my fault because I grabbed the taser handle. So they were protecting themselves. But it hasn't stopped there. Now I have my housing association. The neighbor who has I lived here from 2001. I have reports what she's been doing to me. I didn't take it seriously, probably, but I asked them to put on record. And now everything that was done to me, they turning it around to say it's been done to me. So now I am the one who is a violent nuisance with my profile out there where they can see what I do. I advocate on behalf of others. So now I am the one who is facing imprisonment if I speak out and to be evicted. Sorry? Okay. I don't know. I get these moments. Nothing really happened. I don't know. It's just I don't know if it's my reflection or what the triggers are. I don't know. Because it's coming up to the time when I was shopping to go home for my youngest son's wedding, and that was the time in 2014 that I actually learned my mom's story, because I lived with my mom all my life, and you know, she couldn't explain, she couldn't communicate or whatever. Then when I heard her story, that was when, because I also judged her because she couldn't explain certain things. And then during that period, went for my my son's wedding, I heard mom's story. The time I spent with mom, she didn't recognize me because she had dementia. I was the one who diagnosed her dementia, and it took a good while for my family to understand that she wasn't just a miserable old cantankerous lady. And throughout the time I spent with my mom, she didn't recognize me, but I think I came back 2 days before her 90th birthday, and the day I was leaving, she said to my son, she didn't come to say goodbye. The last picture I have of her, because I blog and I write and I do all these things, I even write a book in On How Strong Women for her. The eulogy that at the time I couldn't read it myself, I wrote it, my son and his wife edited it and read it. Now I can do those things because I'm writing my own poetry and stuff and voicing them. But back then I couldn't do it because of my chronic anxiety. But I've got counseling, and the counseling has helped me. But at the same time, getting the help, they're using it against me. Because when people are saying I was sectioned under the Mental Health Act and I am mad, and no, I am mad and I am deaf and all those things, I'm not deaf. I was never sectioned under the Mental Health Act. I was a SENCO worker with the children with special needs. So why are they doing all these things to me? And even sometimes when I look at some of those things that's written, they can trigger me. The least thing, I might see a headline in a newspaper and it trigger me. So it's like I have no backup, no cover up, and everybody has abandoned me, so I only have my 100-year-old husband, and he's slowly going down. And if I am not able to cook and care for him, we're going to die in here. As I said in that letter to my former employers, I'm depressed and I'm slowly dying of torture. So nearly 10 years, it's going to become a reality. I'm scared that I might commit suicide. And that's very worrying for me because I'm a Christian. I will not be able to see my family in the afterlife. It's not feel like I am unable to care for both of us. No, I've developed an eating disorder. Yeah, and I'm diabetic as well. So it's all those things that come into play. I have arthritis, I have everything, but I try to keep up. But it's very hard where I'm at. Sorry? Yeah, because that's the thing. When I call, because I called the other number and they said call this. I don't have. First time I would have people I could call, and then the phase would pass. I have nobody to talk to. I some of the time I have to hide how I'm feeling from my husband because he is really traumatized. So it's like I don't have a backup system, a support, somebody to call, somebody to talk to when I'm feeling at my lowest. I called the 999 number, and then they said I should call. Yeah. And another thing that I think also that might be hinging on this problem is we put measures in place because my husband was getting his money taken whenever he goes out. And then we put measures in place so that I accompany him. And just before, he took me in the bank to put my details, add me to his account. The bank took over 6 weeks. I've been on the phone with them or whatever to do that. And they only did it when what happened now, we were coming from the GP, so we went into the bank the first time, the Tuesday. It was like they couldn't do whatever after we'd asked for addition and they'd gotten the paperwork. So I said to them we'd come back the next time. The next time we went back, so that was the Thursday, everything that we got. So I had, because of the situation, we had to take passports and everything because of the negligence of the bank, yeah. My British passport, my Jamaican passport, my husband British passport, my marriage certificate, other little cash and papers in the envelope or whatever, and all the money my husband took out of the bank, it was stolen in Peckham. Yeah, the way the police are dealing with this situation, it's not right. Okay, I done my bit because, as I said, I done my bit, and I'm like reaching out there because the police will call me and I withheld number. I can't get back to them. Yeah, only by email. I call up and I said to somebody, person was ever so nice, they will get in touch with the person involved. Eventually, two persons came to I didn't know at the time, I could hear loud noise out there in the passageway because that's one of the injunction that can imprison me about who comes in here. So for me, it was antisocial behavior. So my neighbors let them in and there was loud talking out there that my husband was in bed and thought it was me out there. Yeah, he's very titchy and concerned. The next thing I heard, the knocking on my door, and when I went to the door, it was two burly officers, a male and a female, and their behavior was just irrational because I'm saying to them, they came for me to sign the witness statement. I'm saying to them, my husband is indisposed at the moment, so give it to me so I get him to sign it. The officer was telling me he can't give it to me. He has to see my husband and see my husband read and sign the witness statement. This is a witness statement that I edited with the officer in charge. Yeah? So they were very disrespectful, not considering that I even said to him, I've done power of attorney, I've just got the response, so if you want to see that, I'll let you see it. No. So I sent them packing and said, come back. Now the officer who is in charge was on the phone, but he's not acting responsible either. So all those things are triggers. So I can't pinpoint because my husband is asking what happened. So it's those things, piling on, and then it's just because of my depressive state and everything. Those are the triggers that break me down because I can't see a hope. I can't see a hope. How I dealt with feeling like this in the past is I had people to talk to. I'm abandoned because the thing, as I said, this is coming up 10 years, all this is happening. So I actually went out there. I didn't let it bother me. Once I decided I'm not going back in any workplace to be treated the way I've been treated in two workplaces, I settled down. So as I said, I'm a very sociable person. Yeah, if you go out there, you see me advocating. I'm there. I was on Parkinson's, in Parkinson's brochure. There, I was interviewed on Macmillan, same thing, cancer research, anything going. I started first fundraising after the death of my brother in 2008, and then I progressed. I've been in 3 choirs. I've sung at the Globe. I've been here. I've been there. I've been everywhere. I'm one of the main narrator for the Pembroke House Walworth Living Room fundraising video, and I think this is where I pinpoint whatever is happening to me. As I said, I'm all over there. I was in page 1 of ITV News for Winross 70. I've written a song that can be heard on an app for Winross 75. But when I reach out to people who have done things with, then I'm not getting any support. So basically my intellectual property is being used to build brands, and then when I reach out for support, I'm not getting it. So this is the plan now. I created my first website from 2012. Same time I joined YouTube. And my website has been stolen to order. And if you put the URL in, you'll see who is using it out there, Oxy Eyes. So those things are whatever. So I think I know I can pinpoint whatever. I just create things and stay in here and write about matters like Parkinson's anywhere. I will write about it. So what they try to do is sometimes they my first business website, it's called Merville Consultancy. And afterward Google suspended it, saying it was reported for whatever inappropriate activities. So I have about 3 other ones that they done the same thing. So as soon as I set something up, they done the same thing. I have 3 LinkedIn accounts. The first one had 69 publications. They stole them. So everything I created to just find some solace and peace, so I'm not whatever. I have 18 Facebook pages and they just take off, saying, remove my thing, saying I'm looking for followers and likes. Yeah? 18 pages. And that's how I get removed. So they take me into groups or whatever. As I said, I sung at the Globe. The next thing I'm excluded. So now it's me alone. So YouTube tried to strike 2 of my channels. They're growing, yeah. And then I decided, you know what, I've lost our website, I've lost all this. I can't now let YouTube take away all these things that I've got. Because even Chris Eubank endorsed my book. I have the Metropolitan Police Commissioner sign my book. So I'm out there, yeah? So after now YouTube realized that I've tightened up, I'm not going to let them get away with trying to use things against me. So I just keep a low profile. They offered for me to be on their online community board. And yesterday I went out. Yeah, yesterday I went out and I was passing, and I'm coming through some of the areas where I've done things, and I went into the Walworth living room to make some recording. One of the video now, the person who came after, a lot of people stopped going there, especially the older folks, because they feel they have been pushed out. So I am saying hello to the person to tell her, and you can hear on the video, I'm saying, oh, I'm making some videos to, you know, tie up my contributions to whatever. The next thing, she didn't answer me. So I'm saying, didn't you hear me? The next thing, she got up. So because I didn't want any altercation, I took my trolley and I walked out before her, because I've been locked in banks before for my own rights. I didn't want that to happen. So she came to the door. I came out of the door. She came to the door. She pulled up the door. And I go and posted my video on YouTube. You can hear and see she was the one behaving unprofessionally, because I'm saying hello, and she didn't answer. Yet I am known to her. Yeah? And the next thing now, I see a report from email from YouTube that there was a complainant. She has gone and complained, and YouTube didn't even look at the specific of the video before accusing me. So now I'm looking at what was the purpose of them putting me on their online community board, if this is the attitude they're going to take towards me. Yeah? I turned down to be trustee for Parkinson's UK because I see where I was only going to be used for my intellectual property and what I have. And then they put you in a bundle to say you can't do this and you can't do that. So a few years before, they'd put out for trustees, and I actually applied. In the end, they didn't get back to me. So what they did last year, no, they actually invited me to be the trustee. I actually applied, fill out the form, and then I look at the specifics, and I said to me, no, here's another person. Because I've worked in 2 workplaces. I became a beacon who could be recognized, and I built their brand. So I saw where Parkinson's was going down that road. So I refused from being a trustee, because I'm not going to sign up for anybody else to take my thing and use. It's the same thing like my song is on an app for Song Street, Border Crossing, and Mr. Tony Seeley. And I'm reaching out even to Mr. Seeley of all persons and say, can you not help me? And I'm not getting any help. And the fact that they made me a criminal needing emotional regulation treatment is another hindrance, because it's on the DBS. I can't even get volunteering. So sometimes I'm in here, I'd love to contribute. I can't do anything. So that I'm buried. I'm in a prison. And then I have my neighbor targeting me, and she's been coerced by my housing association. So they will make malicious report and send police come here that I do something that I have never done. And then I have to go to court. I have to go to police station for interview. I have police again calling me up out of the blue because somebody reported something that about what I have posted online and stuff like that. If it is still online, if I post something on their platform and it's still online, it's not been removed, I am saying that means I didn't breach anything. Yeah? And police come in here when I gone to training, leave my husband in hypo. If I didn't come home when I did, you know, I was just in time for him to help him. Those are the sort of things. I've seen him in a hypo. I've never had one. We're both diabetic. I've seen him in a hypo and I don't want to go there. So can you imagine these things are really makes life even harder for me. And the fact that I'm not eating properly and I am not able to cook properly for both of us makes it even worse. Too diabetic. Yeah? He's reached the age now where he can hardly eat certain things because, you know, gesture, not being able to chew, and he just don't eat certain things that he used to eat. And with my eating disorder, it's really very hard. I honestly don't know. I honestly don't know. I don't know. Mm-hmm. Mm.
All right.
Yes, Tommy.
Zero. No. Come on with that depression. Okay.
It makes sense, and I'm not refusing any help that is out there. I'll take it. But with my situation, because I'm labeled and whatever, and whatever, as I said, I applied for Southwark Council for a subject access request, and they 300 and odd pages, and it's just basically defamation. Because they and my housing association, my landlord, actually referred me to the Maudsley behind my back. So those are some of the things. So then I give people information, personal information, and they turn around and use it against me. Yeah? Yeah, it has been done. Ever since I wrote to my former employers to say I'm depressed and whatever. Because when I applied for subject access request, they said they didn't have any data for me except what I gave them for the court. So if I work for you for X amount of years and the court let them get away with it, because both times I had to represent myself at court, they said I made up disabilities. I was invited to be health ambassador for Southwark. And then after certain things now, they all turn against me and kick me out of the group. So every group I go into, I no longer feel I belong anywhere. I'm dreading not being able, as I said, if I was functioning where I'm cooking, I'm tidying up the place, I'm doing everything for me and my husband, it wouldn't bother me. But it's just one long stretch, because when I get into this situation, all I can do is I do my little video recording and stuff like that. So I'll upload them and whatever. So it's just like I'm fixated at one place. I can't function. Some days I don't eat, not even cold water past my mouth. And having diabetes is not good for me. And then I'm concerned about my husband's state of mind as well, and where we are going. If we're not careful, we're both going to die in here, as I said, slowly, of torture.
You recover now.
Yeah. Mm. Can you I did give you my mobile number. Did I? Can you like sort of do a little roundup and send whatever help you can and whatever suggestion you have, and including this whatever number I can contact? Could you send that to me in messaging? Because I function better that way. Yeah? Oh, yes, I can give you the email. That would even be better. Because then I could make a report to help with the situation I'm facing right here now. That whenever I'm in a crisis, I do reach out to get support. Okay, so the email is, I'll word it for you. RATTY dot NEMBHARD Nemhard 1956 at gmail.com. Yes. Let me get a pen. Yeah. I'm ready. 116, yeah? 1, 2, 3, yes? Okay. Mm-hmm. That's okay. All right, thank you. Bye. Tom, I don't know. This is where you see the difference. I've been abandoned by everybody. Nobody calls me. Nobody take my call. And when I reach this stage, that's what I'm scared of. I no longer have anybody to... No, I don't mean you. I don't mean you. And until this is another day lost. And I don't know if I'm going to feel better enough again tomorrow. It might be another day lost. And it's the days that I lose. It's the days that I lose. I'm not functioning, Tom. I don't know.